One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides onto wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Whistles report he pays his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Man, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to Whip 'Em Out Wednesday, aka Hump Day. Great to see everybody in the chat, man. We got the cat in the background losing her shit because we got her nice little toy set up. So look how the high it is, and it's got that thing. I figured that would be a good show for you guys, for her to be in the background jumping around like crazy. So. All right, so this morning we've got quite a big morning. As you guys see, what I have it titled, Senate in Session Amid Shutdown, which, as you guys know, it's the 22nd day of the government shutdown, as it is October 22nd, 2025. Anyhow, Vance-Netanyahu meeting, as you guys do know, VP Vance was over, or is over there in Israel. We reported that yesterday that he was there, but there wasn't much at the time for me to report on. Now, this morning, we do have some of the remarks that VP Vance, as well as Prime Minister Netanyahu, have, and we have that for you guys this morning. And then, of course, we have a U.S. Marshal shot. I have it titled up here, and also an illegal immigrant. Very interesting, and I have it and more. So this morning's lineup, the way that we're going to do this is President Trump hosts Senate GOP amid the government shutdown yesterday. This happened, of course, all the stuff that I'm going to be showing you happened after the show yesterday. And then the second story is going to be Jeffries House Democrats on day 21 of government shutdown. We're going to probably hear a lot of them just whining over the top of them. Then we have Atlanta police thwart mass shooting at airport. So I don't know what thwart means. Thwart, thwart. Never heard that nomenclature. You guys probably have. Let me know in the chat. And then we have U.S. Marshal and illegal immigrant shot in L.A., like I told you guys at the top here. And then we have, as of this morning, we have the entire, as of 3 hours ago, Vance meets with Netanyahu amid fragile Gaza ceasefire, and then they speak together. And then we have Sonia Massey trial, deputy accused of killing, and this came out only a single hour ago. So we definitely have an interesting lineup for the morning. But before we get into all of it and hanging out with you guys, make sure you guys come in and hit the like button. It helps out the show immensely, and it's absolutely free to do so. You know what else is free to do so? Is hitting that subscribe button if you guys are brand new here. But please consider becoming a member, starting only at $2.99 a month. We're making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is what allows us to keep the lights on, allows us to be, on the internet, like that. So I very much appreciate you guys becoming members and staying members. Follow my Instagram right here at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking news. It's a great way to get a hold of me one-on-one, so make sure you guys hit me up over there. We also have a Discord server for all of you guys in the Insane Wheels family. We have like 90, I would say honestly, anywhere from 95 to 98% of you guys in there, but I definitely want to have that number at 100%. So make sure you guys join up in the Discord. Naomi will throw a link into the chat for you guys as well. If you guys are watching this on the playback, hit the description down below for the links to get in. All right, and last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted membership signups are, of course, going to be shouted out and presented live onto the show. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, then we have these platforms right here that you guys can donate to, and I'll read it out loud like as if it is a super chat. So I have my email up, so if anything comes through, I will happily read it out loud. All right, good morning to everybody. Great to see everyone in the chat, man. We are doing fantastic this morning on Whip 'em Out Wednesday. We got Carney's Ride as well as Naomi, Papa D, America Uncensored, Brother AU, Steve Easy, Rabbit of Chaos. Good morning to all of you guys, man. Mountain Woman, thank you so much for being here. Let's see, we're scrolling down. We got Gary, got Chasing Ghost, and thwart means to stop or keep something from happening. Thank you, Papa D. I very much appreciate that. Thank you. I knew you guys would know this shit. See, between me and you guys, we know fucking everything. We got Path Killer in the building. Shout out to my man. Hopefully you're enjoying your Whip 'em Out Wednesday as well as everyone else in the chat, man. We got PanelCon. What's up, PanelCon? Good morning to you. I think that is Anson. Yep, I can guarantee you that's Anson. I just scrolled down and saw that. We got Lick It Up with Poncho saying, all right, Mikey, you got me. I'm downloading Discord. Yes, Poncho. That's my man right there. We got Tiffany as well. Good morning to you guys. All right, we're going right into this. This morning, well, I mean, we're going to be presenting this morning, but this happened yesterday. So we have, I think, 2 or 3 stories that happened yesterday, and then the rest are today. But we definitely are going to listen to some of these Trump remarks regarding the Senate GOP shutdown, basically. So anyhow, we're not going to listen to the whole thing, because this is 44 minutes long. We're definitely not going to do that. We definitely want to hear what he's got to say, but we're not going to sit there and really listen to the entire thing. We just don't have time for it.
We saw that he signed a number of documents now. I'm going to be greeting Senate Republicans. Let's listen in.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Get his audio right.
Friendly group this is.
There we go.
Democrats are here, right? Well, I want to thank everybody. This has been a labor of love.
Damn, he said this is a friendly group, huh? No Democrats here. Shit.
Oh, shit! You know, we took over a building that was not properly taken care of. It just wasn't. It's a very special building, and we are taking care of it. This was grass, and when you have a news conference, and this was going on for many years, but everybody would just sink into the mud. It was extremely luxurious grass, especially when it was raining, because you'd go down about 5 inches into the mud. And when we had a press conference here, all the press standing back there, they'd be cursing me. The women would be lifting up their shoes, saying, "You've destroyed my shoes. This is terrible."
Me too.
So we got a stone that's the exact same stone and color as the White House itself, because we wanted the friendly feeling of that light color. And it reflects the sun, and it keeps you cool even in the summer. And we've had press conferences. We finished it about a month ago. This is, as you see over here, the Presidential Walk of Fame. And we had this long wall with half windows, because that used to be a swimming pool on the other side of the wall. That was the swimming pool where Jackie would say, "I hear women inside." Are women inside? Quite a famous, I'm not saying anything, this was a part of a movie. And the Secret Service said, "No, ma'am, there's no women inside, ma'am. I'm sorry, ma'am, you're gonna have to move along." "But I hear women inside." "No, ma'am, you'll have to move along, ma'am." So that was the famous swimming pool. Now it's even worse. It's for the media.
Oh, what the fuck?
Covered the pool up. They covered the pool up, and now it's for the media. And I think we have a small representative group. I don't think they allowed the rest of them.
What's up, Robson Ever? Good morning to you.
Can't believe
Great
it.
to
What
see
happened?
you.
They're all on the other side of the wall. Can you believe it? Because this is supposed to be sort of a private event. And there is no such thing in politics as a private event. Lindsey, you learned that a long time ago, right? The great Lindsey Graham doing fantastic. You're up 34 points, Lindsey. That's not bad, I'll tell you. It's not bad. So we did the Presidential Walk of Fame from the great George Washington all the way to, well, I think we have to rate him above me. So less than great, less than George. Somebody went up there, they say, "You're the 3rd best president in the United States." This was on television, 3rd best. And they said, "Who are the first 2? George Washington and Abraham Lincoln." And I got extremely angry at this man. You know, you can't. It's going to be tough to beat, Mr. Senator. It's going to be, John. It's going to be very tough to beat Washington and Lincoln, but we're going to give it a try, right? Hey,
Well, damn straight. That's a good attitude to have.
We put out 8 wars, 9 coming. All right, we put out 8 wars, and the 9th is coming. Believe it or not.
What's up, Moto Bomb? Great to see you, by the way. Hopefully you're enjoying your Whip 'em Out Wednesday. Always appreciate you hanging out with us in the chat, and fantastic show this morning, my man.
So I just want to say it's great to be with you. And when we're finished, later on, we're going to have a little quick lunch, and they do great food at the White House. And this is used sometimes for evening, where we've had some incredible people for the evening and some of the big foreign leaders.
Okay, Trump, get to the government shutdown, please.
Example, I'm going to see President Xi in 2 weeks. I'm going.
Wow, that's pretty good news right there. President Xi, XI, which is over there in China.
Over to South Korea. We're going to meet in South Korea.
South
We're going to talk about a lot of
okay,
things
they're
they want to
meeting in
discuss.
South Korea, which, okay.
That's the fact
cool.
that they're paying 157% tariff. It's a little higher than they thought. And we're doing very well. I think we're going to do well in that negotiation. We've done well, as you know, with Japan, with South Korea, with Europe. The European nations got together. We made a deal. And it was all based without the tariffs. You could have never made the deal. I'll tell you what, tariffs equal national security. Remember that. Tariffs equal national security. You got to remember that. And they also equal wealth for our nation, because we've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars in a very friendly manner.
What's up, David? Hopefully you're enjoying your Whip 'em Out Wednesday as well.
Given to
Great
us
to
by
see you.
nations that used to take it from us, and they used tariffs on us. We never used it on them because we were foolish, or we were led by people that weren't business people. But it really does. It equals national security. And I wouldn't have put out, I mentioned 8 wars, 9 coming. Of the 8, 5 were based solely on trade and tariffs. India, Pakistan were going at it. 2 nuclear powers, and serious nuclear. 7 planes shot down. They were ready to go, and I called them up. I said, you go to war, and we're not doing a trade deal. And they said, well, what does one thing have to do with the other? I said, it has a lot. You're nuclear powers, and if you do it, we're not doing a trade deal. And 24 hours later, they called me, we have decided not to do it. We stopped the war. We stopped the potential disaster, a nuclear disaster, because of trade. And it's been really amazing. But
Well, as you guys know, when there's trade wars, what follows after trade wars? Real wars, real life wars. If the trade wars do not get handled, it turns into real wars.
the tariffs
sadly.
have made us a wealthy country. They've given us tremendous defense. They've given us things that we can do for other countries, very positive. But again, really, it's national security, it's national defense, and they are so important. And it's incredible that presidents, for the most part, didn't know how to use them, when to use them. If you go back, you'll see some of the presidents that were the most successful were believers in tariffs. And I even see foreign countries now that we are doing very well with taking ads. Don't go with tariffs. They're taking ads. I saw an ad last night from Canada. If I was Canada, I'd take that same ad also. But they're actually on television taking ads. But I do believe that everybody's too smart for that. We have a very, very big and important case coming up. We should win the case based on the legal merit. We should also win the case based on all of the things I just said. But we're a wealthy country again. Last week, as you know, they found $31 billion. They came to see me, sir. We found $31 billion. They said, we don't know why. I said, was this a good find or a bad find? It was a good find. It was a plus 31. We're used to finding
What's up, Air Guitar King? Hopefully you're enjoying your Whip 'em Out Wednesday. Great to see you in the chat, by the way.
negative 31s, right, for the last 30 years. I said, check the tariff shelf. Well, those tariffs haven't kicked in. Yes, they did. They kicked in 2 months ago. Check it. He comes back 2 hours later. Sir, you were right. We have an additional $31 billion, billion, not million, Lindsay, billion, that we just found from tariffs. They kicked in earlier than we thought. You were right.
Which is kind of crazy because they were like, oh, no, we don't have this. And they're like, Trump is like, no, the tariffs started last X amount of time ago. You should double check that. And sure as shit, they went back, checked, and were like, oh shit, we actually got billions of dollars from this. We didn't even notice.
A wealthy nation again, and we're a nation that can be secure. We're a nation that can start paying down our debt. And with tariffs, we're the wealthiest nation ever in the history of the world. Without them, we've got to slog. We've got to slog. But remember this, other nations, including China, Japan,
Extra surprise, my man. Good morning.
and European nations, they
And Ms.
used
Lotus, good
tariffs
morning to you.
against us for many years. That's why we owe $37 trillion. That's why. But they used tariffs very successfully against us, and we had presidents that never fought it. But now you have a president that does fight it. So I just want to welcome you to the
Well, it's one thing if we're absolutely being taken advantage of, where one side is tariffing us harder than the other, than us, meaning, well, of course, yes, we should have reciprocal tariffs to be able to, but to use this as, of course, Trump is really good at being able to use things like this on a geopolitical level to be able to influence certain behaviors and decisions in the future, which he is very smart at. But I really look at tariffs as only something that should be used almost as like a protective thing or a defensive stance, not really an attack. But he does do well at executing it.
Incredible Rose Garden. It's just an incredible place. It was done. We did it, brought it back to health. It was in very bad shape, actually, and we brought it back to health.
Real quick, we got two legends in the chat that just popped up. We got Steve Posey in the building, as well as Sport Brand, my man. Good morning to you guys. Happy Whip 'em Out Wednesday.
Melania did a fantastic job on it. The surrounds and everything. It's all brand new wiring. You know, underneath there's a lot of wire, a lot of things. Everything brand new, everything beautiful. The only thing we did is we had to get a hard surface here because nobody could use it because of the grass. So I just want to welcome you, and I hope you're going to be here.
Okay, fantastic. But now I want to hear about the government shutdown.
He loves it.
Okay, he's doing praises and all this shit. He talks when he talks, man. For real.
Tim is a really good person. And I want to tell you, you are a champion. You are big.
See, he's just talking to everyone else.
The auto pen person said he never spoke to Biden. It was like an avalanche. I'll say because of the time we're in, we're not approving that person. We're not approving. They never. And this goes for judges also. But actually more so even for the U.S. attorney with a blue slip. So
I'm really trying to get to the government shutdown part.
Mostly with me, a House majority. The Republican Senate also gave us the largest working class tax cut in American history. And you passed.
Yes, that is true, but the amount of funding, the pork-filled bullshit, which is the triple B, right? The big, beautiful bill. Yes, there was some amazing things that came out of it for U.S. citizens. Yes, of course, there are some benefits to it. But on a spending level, it is one of the most expensive bills, funding bills, ever to be passed. I mean, it's incredible.
The Laken Riley Act to throw illegal alien criminals out of our country. You passed the Genius Act and the Take It Down Act with the support of our wonderful First Lady. By the way, she got actual support from the other side. It was bipartisan. I think Rand didn't vote for it again. But I think it was only Rand. We had bipartisan support other than maybe Rand. But another one I'm going to ask you to vote for, and it's in the House now. And
that's exactly why I was skipping ahead there, Miss Lotus.
It's doing well in the House, James. It's Kate's Law. A young lady named Kate Steinle, I remember it so well, probably 8 or 10 years ago now in San Francisco. She was holding hands with her father on the San Francisco pier, looking out into the water. It was beautiful. Everything was beautiful, but the person was...
Listen, I'm going to be real about this, Anson. I just don't play that bullshit. Anything regarding internet drama, I absolutely stick 100% out of it. It's bad for business. Not for my type of business. Maybe for other type of people's business on YouTube and shit like that. That's not something that I need to be involved in. I've got enough quote-unquote drama dealing with world politics and geopolitics and all this shit, so.
It's beautiful that did this. And this was an illegal alien that came into our country 5 times, was thrown out 4 or 5 times, I don't even know, but a lot, and came back and shot her through the head. And she went down and she looked at her father, Daddy, something happened, and she immediately passed away in his arm. And I mean, you can imagine, it was so sad, such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful person. Father was destroyed, virtually destroyed. And
Man, Papa D, you just said it absolutely factual right there. If we want drama, we can get it in our own lives, right? Fuck, you're not even kidding.
Oh, shit!
Absolutely.
They wanted to pass what they call Kate's Law, and it's now again in Congress, and I hear we're going to get it passed in Congress, and when it gets up to the Senate, I hope you guys can pass it. And basically, very simple.
What's up, Trigger Warning? Good morning and happy Whip 'em Out Wednesday.
It says that if you're an illegal alien and you come in and you get thrown out, if you come back and get caught, you have to spend 10 years in jail. Very simple. Very simple.
Wow. So no more catch and release, catch and release, catch and release, catch and release, 1,000 times over, You get caught, get thrown over the border again, then you just come right back over, 0 repercussions. I like that, actually. You get caught, you get deported. That's the first strike. Then there is no 3 strikes. It's a 2-strike system. So you come back in after you've been deported and you get caught again, that's 10 years. Shit.
If they would have had that, Kate Steinle would be alive today. That was a big event at the time. If you remember, Bill O'Reilly For those of you
Yeah,
that
no
like,
kidding, Miss Lotus, especially with these fucked up pieces of shit judges and corrupt DA that let this fucking shit out within, like, no joke, 6 months, maybe spend a year. Yeah, it's fucking a joke.
Bill, I think I like Bill, but he was the one, he devoted his life to that law, trying to get it passed. I think it's time that we pass it so that if you get taken out of the country and you come back illegally, knowing that this law is in existence, you go to jail for a 10-year period, and it's going to keep the repeat offenders from coming in. It's going to really keep them from coming in. Senate Republicans have already voted 11 times to get our government back and open for business. We have record business. We're going to be, I think, by the time I hit month number 12, I think we're going to have $20 trillion of investment. We're over 17 right now.
Wow. One of the last counts of total investment into the United States I heard was 13 trillion. And now we are bumped out to 20 trillion of trade deals that have happened since he's been in office in the last 8 months, close to 9 months. But you got to give him that. He definitely knows how to bring money and eventually jobs with it, right? You know, of course, not everyone's going to be able to invest and then be able to build infrastructure here and then employ people right fucking now. But on the long term, this is going to bring a lot of companies back. It's bringing a lot of money into our economy. Well, actually, into the government's economy, right?
As an example, President Biden had less than $1 trillion for 4 years. We're going to have $20 trillion in less than 12 months, and we're over 17 trillion right now. So
he's at 17 trillion exactly right now, and until the next deal is signed, that would be a total of 20. Very interesting there. Real quick, we got to get the money part over.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
Facts. I definitely do.
Denied.
I'm definitely not no rich man over here, and so we're only operations are being held up by your guys' super chats as well as your guys' memberships, man. So thank you guys for that.
it's the largest
In advance.
It's the largest amount in our country by far, by many times. That's in our country. But here's the one. It's the largest amount in the history of the world. There's never been a country that's had anywhere near 17, or it will be 20, and it's going up fast. A lot of it's because of tariffs, because they're coming in because they don't want to pay tariffs. In other words, they make their product in a certain country, and they used to just send...
Ah, shit. We got a Cash App that just came through. All right, we got my father, Bradley Ball, in the chat, by the way. He's Air Guitar King, for you guys that don't know. He says, great show with your bad self for $50. Go! Making that shit rain in the hizzy. Always appreciate that. Yes, sir. We're getting crazy out here. I very much appreciate that. Thank you, Dad, for that. That is fantastic.
it in here, and there was no charge, absolutely. Now, if they have to pay a 20%, 30%, 50%, 100%, or 2% tariff, they say, well, it's better if I build my plant in the United States. It always amazed me I did this first term.
That's hilarious.
We had the greatest economy in the history of our country in first term.
Like as if you could ever have any sort of cover.
We had COVID, and we did a good job with that. That was a curse for every country in the world. It was terrible. But we had the greatest economy we ever had. But if you remember, I started the tariffs, but I held it off because it wouldn't have exactly been good at the time to tell France, what they were going through.
Brother Sterling in the building, by the way. Shout out to my man. Good morning and happy Whip 'em Out Wednesday. Always appreciate you guys. AKA Hump Day, by the way.
You know what Spain was going through and Italy.
Oh my God, get it over with there, Trump. Please, please. One of those SpongeBob moments.
A few moments later.
Shit. Let me go ahead and scroll a little bit here. He's talking about tariffs and trade. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about the government shutdown right here because it popped up.
Really short period of time, 4,000 murders. This is over a short period of time, 4,000 murders.
Man, you're on some different shit. Yeah, see how the headline keeps changing on this? These guys are messing up. Anyways, now he's on violent crime in the country. And let's see, he sticks on that for a minute. And see what he says
here. They'll become like an electric utility in addition to AI. But if they want to build their own plant.
Okay, yeah. I'm not interested in any of that. So we're going to move on because that was from yesterday. We needed that context, though. Nonetheless, we have another one of these ordeals from yesterday. day 21 of the government shutdown. We're on day 22. Double check that. There we go. We are. So this is yesterday, and Jeffries comes out and I guess complains to the American public about his position. Let's go ahead and bring this up.
Behavior, and Senate Republicans still don't have a clue as it relates to what needs to be done to address the healthcare crisis that they've created. Tens of millions of Americans all across the country, as we speak, are beginning to receive notices that...
Oh, no, I'm definitely with you. Those guys over there in France.
Why are you gay?
Why are you gay? You are gay.
You are gay.
Shit. All right.
Their premiums, copays, and deductibles are about to skyrocket. They are about to experience thousands of dollars in additional expense per year. And in some cases, thousands of dollars in additional expense per month. It's unsustainable. And Republicans have refused to address it. They'd rather keep the government shut down than provide affordable health care and extend the tax credits for everyday Americans, for working class Americans, and for middle class Americans. Democrats will continue to make clear that we will sit down anytime, any place with anyone here at the Capitol or back at the White House in order to reopen the government, decisively address the Republican healthcare crisis, and enact a spending agreement that actually makes life...
That's actually a really, really good observation right there, Papa D. Yes, he does. The same exact vocal pauses, the inflection, all of it. You're very right. And even the hand motions that he's doing, that is very interesting.
Better for the American people, as opposed to continuing these Republican policies that are raising the already too high cost of living and ripping health care away from the American people. Republicans on vacation for 4 weeks, and one of the consequences of that is that Republicans have refused now for 4 consecutive weeks to swear in Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva, depriving hundreds of thousands of people in the state of Arizona of the representation that they deserve, particularly during this challenging moment in the country. And once again, on the House floor during a pro forma session, Republicans refused.
Shit, what's up, K2? Brother K2, keep on trucking up in the building. Shout out to my man. And I got my left-handed tobacco. I don't know why I haven't lit it up yet. I mean, my whole excuse to be able to use any of this is because the Democrats make me go fucking so insane that I need it. You know what I mean? Shit. Oh, yeah, now we feeling good.
To recognize the distinguished gentleman from the great state of Maryland, on behalf of Representative-elect Grijalva, who should be sworn in today. It's already 4 weeks too late. It's now my honor to yield to the top Democrat on the House Judiciary Committee, Representative Jamie Raskin.
Thank you, Leader Jeffries. And I want to say I was alarmed and distressed.
Man, these guys are just a huge cope fest, bro.
To read that another January 6th pardoned convict has been picked up, this time apparently in connection with saying he was coming to New York looking for you, Mr. Jeffries, saying he was going to eliminate you. And apparently you had a public event in New York yesterday, and he's been...
I didn't hear about that, but I definitely condemn any type of political violence. You know, yes, these guys are fucking pieces of shit, American haters, God haters, all that kind of shit. But guess what? They're gonna get their own at the end of the day. You know what I mean? We don't need to get involved and be hurting or killing or any of that. Political violence, it needs to absolutely come to an end, but it's never going to. Unfortunately, that's the sad reality of the landscape of politics.
Picked up for that, and it's an alarming situation where now we have many of these January 6th defendants who have been picked up on other offenses.
Brother Slim.
The Department of Justice is not zealously prosecuting them for other crimes that they've committed. They've even taken the position that if other crimes were discovered in the course of the January 6th investigation, they were pardoned for those crimes too, which is false, which contradicts the actual text of the pardon. But they are bending over backwards to let these people be out.
Exactly, America Uncensored. God will handle that at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
And
we don't need to do that.
It's a very dangerous situation. And I said on the very day that Donald Trump pardoned 1,600 people en masse, without obviously studying the details of each individual case, that President Trump and his administration would be responsible for whatever happens with these people. They've got a responsibility to rein them in.
Oh my God, the fucking cope on this fucking shit.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
Honestly, regarding the whole January 6th thing, the only thing that I was pissed off about the pardon, the blanket pardon on it, is that it didn't happen during Trump's first term. He could have done it. He still had like a month and a half left in his term to be able to do it, and he didn't do it. He let these guys sit for 4 years until he came back and then freed them.
Some of them they've hired. Jared Wise, who is a January 6th.
Aaron Olinger, by the way, in the chat, yes, sir, over there on the Facebook side, saying this guy is spouting propaganda. They are wanting to fund illegals and the programs that Doge got rid of, like U.S. aid. I 100%, 1,000% agree. Great to see you in the chat. Hopefully you're enjoying your Whip 'em Out Wednesday. Great to see you.
Attendee, he was there on the 6th, and he entered the building illegally. And he also chanted, "Kill him," when his fellow riders were attacking the police. He called the police Nazis and Gestapo. He's now the senior advisor to Ed Martin, who himself was there on January 6th and was a lawyer for people on January 6th. And he tweeted out on that day that it was like Mardi Gras. So we have a very serious problem with political violence in this country. Thank God that you are safe.
I do agree with that. We do have a problem with political violence, but you're kind of... The thing is, the political violence, not all of it is on the left. Yes, you're correct about that. Not all political violence is on the left. But the amount of political violence that has happened from the left to the right way outweighs vice versa. You know what I mean? Okay? So, yeah, one side is doing it a little bit more than the other, and are actually a lot more. So it's kind of ironic that now you want to cry victim, cry wolf.
Mr. Jeffries, but we are asking for the Department of Justice to get serious about reining these people in all over the country, especially since Ed Martin clearly knows them, and he is head of the so-called weaponization task force. It was my honor and it was my pleasure to be accompanied today by our new colleague, Congresswoman-elect Adelita Grijalva from the great state of Arizona. She accompanied me to the floor.
100,000%. Dude, political violence has been around since freaking conception of politics. You're absolutely right on that, Steve. And that's one of the things I said. Yes, we should condemn political violence, but at the same time, it is a realistic landscape. Not saying that it should be this way. I'm saying what is.
I tried to get recognition. There was no other business today. I was standing directly opposite the acting speaker for the day, Mr. Herodopoulos. The moment the Pledge of Allegiance was over, I asked for recognition because I wanted to move a unanimous consent motion that the Speaker of the House be directed.
He's absolutely 100% real, or being serious. But these guys all know they're lying. They play a certain game, you know, especially the radical left.
To move on the next legislative day, tomorrow, to swear in Ms. Grijalva, and yet he turned away, he pretended he didn't notice me, and he scurried out of the room, which to me is disgraceful. We need to act on this. Ms. Grijalva's hundreds of thousands of constituents.
You need to act on opening up the government again and get this shit funded and over with, and put down stop being a fucking terrorist. You know, yes, we got shit passed on party lines. You guys are fucking upset because we got shit on party lines on you guys. And now you guys want to throw a temper tantrum and go, well, we're going to shut this whole thing down. We're going to ask for the exact same funding that you guys got in the Triple B. And now we're going to ask for 1.5 trillion because that's how much you guys got. And this is going to be our way of forcing that. So, unfortunately, this is the fucking landscape. But what works, works. And unfortunately, it's putting a whole stalemate to the situation, though, because it seems like right now, both sides are unwilling to do anything. The left has already voted 11 times and shot it down 11 times since the government shutdown to reopen. And every time 11 fucking shots straight already been voted down. There is zero. We don't see any movement from either side.
Deserve to be represented in Congress. And even during these pro forma sessions, all of us who are members of Congress, including Congresswoman-elect Grijalva, can introduce legislation. But Ms. Grijalva, as I understand it, I'll let her tell you about it, she is not able to do constituent work for her constituents. We are trying to get in touch with Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid.
And you know what's sad, Steve Posey, is I have heard that people are actually thinking that this is going to go until December and all this shit. Till the new year, whatever, man, that's crazy.
The VA every day on behalf of our constituents. Meantime, she's got constituent requests piling up on a desk, and I'd be very interested to hear you talk, Adelita, about what resources you have and what resources you don't have. But we consider you an elected member of Congress. There's no right or power that's been invoked by Speaker Johnson as to why he continues to refuse to swear her in. So I'm just here to endorse all the demands of our leadership.
Oh my God, you guys are. This is a rough ordeal here.
Stupid.
And I'm actually holding my tongue and reserving and actually trying to not say too much.
Thank you, Leader Jeffries and Ranking Member Raskin, for the opportunity to speak here, and for I think this is the 5th time that a member of Congress has tried to get some recognition in order to have me sworn in. Today is day 28 since my election. And I think that it's really important that we appreciate that 812,000 Arizonans do not have representation in Congress. My dad passed away a little over 7 months.
So this chick is just running on some fucking campaign shit. They're using this as an opportunity for her to be able to campaign. This shit is so gay. I swear all of this shit is all political theater. And everyone's falling for it. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate. I hate the landscape, bro. So we're going to move on. We don't need to hear these guys ramble on anymore. We're going to go over into Atlanta. Yesterday, Atlanta police stopped a mass shooting before it happened over there at the airport. We actually had, we reported this yesterday and explained and showed what they were presenting as facts at the time. And the gun was out in his car in the parking lot, or whatever the case is. Guy was on social media saying that he was going to go to Atlanta driving and saying he's going to go shoot up the place and he's going to murder a whole bunch of people and all this shit. And he did have an AK-47 in the car, and when they searched him. So now there's new updated shit here, and I definitely want to figure this out a little bit. We're not going to play this whole thing. Again, there's a whole press conference on this. We're going to kind of skip through to get kind of the facts of what happened here, but I definitely want to hear this.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm Stephanie Quinu. We are continuing to monitor this live event out of Atlanta right here, as we are expecting Atlanta police to give an update after the arrest of a man yesterday who had a gun at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta Airport after making threats. And if you're not familiar with the story, I did want to share a little bit more. The man arrested is facing multiple charges after police said that he...
And I really appreciate that, Papa D. I take that shit to heart, and that's part of being able to be a reporter, right? Yes, I am a definite opinionated reporter, but I definitely do show both sides of what's happening.
Threatened to, quote, shoot up
Hartsfield-Jackson
Atlanta International Airport, and the police arrested him there, also finding a gun inside his truck. So what we know is that
So it wasn't even, it was in a truck. Interesting. All right, so real quick, let's go ahead and get the money part over real quick.
Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate some freaking.
Shit.
Denied.
Suspect Billy Joe Cagle was...
What a freaking last name, Cagle.
Taken into custody Monday morning after his family called police to report that he was driving to Atlanta and threatening to harm as many people as possible. So Cartersville police alerted.
So what I'm assuming what happened here and what is happening is, from what I'm collecting from the facts, basically this guy was on social media. Now we hear that his own family saw that and reported it to police and said, this motherfucker's headed to Atlanta Airport, blah, 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 and he's planning on shooting up the place. Very, very interesting. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the facts of the case. I really don't want to hear these guys. I want to see like video and pictures. See, here we go. Surveillance video of suspect Brian Cagle. I want to see how the arrest actually happened and how they approached it and all that.
Fits it, and that's when I went on ahead to apprehend the suspect.
Thank you very much. Then we would obviously transport him to our precinct. At this point, we're also alerting our federal partners. We're alerting the FBI, we're alerting the TSA, and all those federal agencies that we work closely with to be able.
Brother K2, keep on trucking, throwing down $2, man. Hey, I very much appreciate that. Thank you for the kind donation there, sir. Thank you for that.
He would proceed to be charged. We would charge him eventually after consulting with the district attorney. He was charged with
gunpowder nitro.
Yes, sir. Certainly. And then going over the charges that we charged yesterday, I think what's currently before the Clayton County courts now are 3 of the 4, which is terroristic threats, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and possession of a firearm by a felon.
So this is what the guy looks like. I read this, what he got charged or what he's getting charged with yesterday. So this is not new news here for us, but at least you guys have a little bit of a insight there. I don't know why these guys have this long of a press conference to discuss this. There really isn't. Here we go. I want to see this part. You know what I mean? Where they actually show the video and shit. That's what I care about. Perfect. All right, let's see it.
I know we've had.
Real quick before we start it, we got Sterling Wheel coming in with the 420 saying clockwise marijuana. Yes, sir. Feels ultra good to be a G.
Members of the media go to the next one, Jonathan, who asked, what was it like looking, and this is where Major Wilson, I have you respond to the next video. Go from there, go back, and I'll show you what we're talking about. You just go back and I'll show you. And this is, go back again. So here, we have officers, and if you can speak to it, someone did ask one
So are they looking down at him or something?
Yesterday, the number of officers, and we're not talking about staffing, but just to show you that there were officers who were on alert, ready to.
Okay, so she's just showing that, yes, we have security. No shit, of course.
Find this particular suspect. So, Major Wilson, if you can talk about what you see. Absolutely.
Oh, shit, man. Real quick, we got to read a couple donations. Holy shit. Real quick, we got my man Papa D sending in $10 on PayPal and saying, not much, but sure do enjoy your show, buddy. Blessings. Dude, hold on, man. No, don't worry about the amount, bro. Even a single dollar, I'm fucking honored, bro. So, sincerely, thank you. It all adds up. I'm very honored. Thank you for that. Making it rain. And we got brother K2 keep on trucking saying Mike needs about 350. That's true. Thank you for making it rain, homie. Thank you for the 350. The tree fitty.
So an officer Banks. So an officer Banks engages him, and she rotates and faces the windows. There's going to be a balcony that's going to be on the left-hand side of the photo, of the screen. You'll see 4 officers that are on that balcony as well. One of them is a member of the ASRT team, and then 3 of them are canine handlers who put their dogs up and start to patrol and canvas as well. But right there.
That is true, Steve.
So when Officer Banks came over the radio and said, "I think I have him," they obviously, their attention was piqued, and they started to look over, and they immediately saw him. So they were there to assist. But that goes to show, again, the scale and the scope that we went through to go ahead and make sure that everybody was out there, everybody was searching, for this individual. The other thing I'd like to say, Sergeant Jones did a fabulous job, really did. Officer Banks, Officer Gibson.
Okay, so they're not going to really show anything other than that. I think that's all they had to be able to show, like, that we could show you guys. The other bits of it is them just talking, which I'm really not very interested in. Okay, next story, we have U.S. Marshal and illegal immigrant shot in Los Angeles yesterday. Let's go ahead and bring this up and figure this out. This actually got a lot of traction on social media and in the mainstream. So let's go ahead and figure this out together.
Welcome back into Live Now from Fox. I'm Jay Russell. I want to take you out to Los Angeles. Take a look at this tweet.
Oh my God, this guy.
Why are you gay?
Why are you gay? You are gay.
I was looking at a little bit earlier today from Fox News that's saying, breaking, U.S. Marshal illegal alien injured by gunfire during Los Angeles immigration operation in which escaping target rammed federal vehicles. Now, this is what sources tell Bill Malugan right there. What we want to do is bring in Fox 11's Nick Garcia, who has the latest on this. Thank you for joining us. So We're just reading the tweet right now from Fox News. Tell us what's going on, Nick.
Oh, shit. Real quick, we got Cash App as well from Brother Lee Lance. Man, thank you so much. Sending in $5 saying for what's crackin' lacking, bro. Yes, sir. Thank you for that. Brother Lee dropping a leg is hot. Very much appreciate that.
Hospital where the suspected undocumented immigrant as well as the Marshal were both taken. It's just a few blocks over from where the shooting happened in South LA. I'm here in downtown LA now. We're still waiting to gather more information about this. I can tell you, though, we spoke with the lawyer of the man who was shot at involved in the situation earlier this morning. The lawyer says that he does not believe his client was the intended target of the...
Oh, my God, Glare. I did not see this. Said, did you see Portland's protesters hiding behind police after harassing ICE agents? That is way too fucking ironic. Wow. Wow, that is insane. And then, of course, the police are going to protect their asses because that's what they've been instructed to do. I'm not even mad at the cops. I'm mad at the governor and the mayors, bro.
ICE operation this morning. Of course, DHS says that he was. So there's a little bit of conflicting information there right now. That lawyer's still working to get in touch with his client here at the hospital.
Well, that's kind of interesting. It's just news that you do not think that you would hear about. So for this information, I know you said you're at the hospital right now. I guess what is the next update that you will be waiting on while you're there right now?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing if he'll be able to speak with his client, if they're going to allow him in to speak with him, and then come out and give us an updated account of what he says happened. But definitely, this is not the news that you mentioned there.
So real quick, I want to read this down here. It says, a U.S. Marshal and a legal immigrant were both shot in Los Angeles during an immigration enforcement operation on Tuesday. The driver allegedly rammed federal vehicles in an attempt to escape. Sources within the U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement, which is ICE, and Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, reported to Fox News the U.S. Marshal and illegal immigrant are both hospitalized. Damn, that is definitely brutal.
This is not the news that anyone was really expecting today. It's worth noting the shooting happened just about a block away
Be
from
safe
a high
out
school
there,
that had to
Papa
go on
D.
lockdown. Thankfully, no injuries over there because that Marshal was hit by a stray bullet.
Hearing some news.
Thank
like
you
this,
for
we're
your
hearing all over
donation
the
as well,
nation
bro.
that,
Thank you
ICE
for that.
Agents out there doing their jobs, but out in LA, are there more incidents like this that you're hearing, or is this more of an isolated incident type of thing?
David, I got you.
Why are you gay?
Shit. Why are you gay?
Why are you gay?
Since you have boots on the ground out there.
As far as weapons being drawn or really fired, that's a little unusual. We don't see that every day. Definitely ICE operations happening pretty regularly here. Those larger scale raids, not so much, but some of these...
Good. Good. More. Let's get this immigration done. Let's get it, let's keep it pumping, baby. Let's get these motherfuckers out.
Smaller targeted events are happening just about every day. We don't often see them leading to shots fired like this.
Is there anything that maybe, law enforcement, it's just telling the community, because this seems that...
That's right, you will, Jesus.
ICE agents are going to be out there. Is there something that maybe law enforcement is saying or ICE agents are saying to just the community that if you do come in contact with somebody, just...
Shit, now you know my pain, Lee.
How to act, because I feel like a lot of people are so used to maybe police officers coming in, but with ICE agents, it's a different ballgame.
Well, law enforcement, federal law enforcement does expect everyone to comply with their orders or what they're requesting. We've seen...
What? Steve Posey? He says, Mike, did you see the story about illegal alien being given a firearm and badge by Prickster in Illinois? No. Oh, my God. I am definitely going to be looking into this. Thank you for letting me know. Holy shit.
Cases where, maybe they have a warrant, maybe they don't, and then the person is a little confused as to what, lawfully their rights are. I will say there were a lot of people out at the scene of the shooting and also here at the hospital, at least a few dozen, protesting or trying to demand more action from or asking ICE to stop with these kind of operations. So there definitely have been a lot of activists here, definitely adding to the mix.
I guess that's another question too, as well. Since you are out there in the community, how are they reacting to this? Because this is,
of course, in Chicago, and of course, led by Prickster,
somebody that they probably know. And then, of course, on the other side of things as well, law enforcement. This is one of their own. How are they dealing with this situation?
I don't know how I didn't catch this because I use so many sources behind the scenes. It's just interesting that I didn't see that. Damn.
Sure. Well, we do know we're not going to learn too much more about the Marshal who was involved. According to DHS, that Marshal was shot in the hand. Hopefully expected to be okay. They say he's in stable condition. As far as the activist, I mean, we spoke with one person. I wouldn't call him an activist, but he was a delivery driver in the area. Says, I know this community really well. I'm not sure if he knew the man who was shot at.
Where was he from? The guy that we're talking about in this ordeal, he overstayed his visa. Where was his home?
Earlier today, but he seems to know people in that neighborhood, and he's upset. There are a lot of people who are upset by this, but there are, on the other hand, people who say this is what they voted for, this is what they expect, and this is federal law enforcement doing their job.
That's what I'm hearing a lot too. Well, thank you so much, Nick, for joining us, and we'll get.
All right, so now we're going to hear VP Vance and Netanyahu talk amongst this fragile Gaza ceasefire. Let's go ahead and bring this up. And this is this morning around like 2 hours ago, 4 hours ago. So right before we started, it was 3 hours. All right. And it's actually fairly short, which I'm pleased with.
A few days ago, we had our historic visit by President Trump that will be etched in the annals of our nation's history. We're fortunate today to have a visit by Vice President J.D. Vance. And I want to tell you a few things about that. First, in the last year, we've had an unmatched alliance and partnership with the United States. That is changing the Middle East, and it's also changing the world. It creates opportunities not only for security, but for the expansion of peace, which we're working on very, very diligently. And it's just unmatched. I've been here a few years. I've been through several administrations. I welcome the partnership and the assistance we've had, but there's never been anything like that. And President Trump said that. It's like a partnership. It's never happened before. Well, that includes...
Steve, you fucking dick. Now I got that going on in my fucking head.
A close circle, both on our side and on the American side. And President Trump knows who he picks for that circle. One of the members, to put it mildly, is the Vice President. We've had the opportunity to make decisions jointly in a very tight-knit and trusting partnership. And I was impressed. I was impressed with your clarity, with your incisiveness, with your solidarity for our common cause. And
can we stop the glazing? Let's just get to it, please. Man, I just want to hear the facts.
Just a genuine friendship that I saw both in our conference meetings, but also in our private meetings. And it's in that spirit that I very much welcome you to Jerusalem in these days of destiny. We're changing the face of the Middle East. And I have to say, I was going to say, bring your family next year in Jerusalem, but welcome this year in Jerusalem, our great friend, J.D. Vance.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister, and thanks to your entire team for your hospitality and for having us. As the Prime Minister said, these are days of destiny, and we're very excited to sit down and work together on the Gaza peace plan. We have a very, very tough task ahead of us, which is to disarm Hamas, but rebuild Gaza, to make life better for the people in Gaza, but also to ensure that Hamas is no longer a threat to our friends in Israel. That's not easy. I think the Prime Minister knows that as well as anybody, but it's something that we're committed to in the Trump administration. And I think that we've, even in the past 24 hours, had a lot of good conversations with our friends in the Israeli government, but also, frankly, with our friends in the Arab world who are stepping up and volunteering to play a very positive role in this. So we're going to keep working at it. I didn't know what to expect, honestly. I know the president was here a week ago to welcome the hostages home and actually sign the deal a week into it. There's a lot of work to do, but I feel very optimistic about where we are. So thank you for the partnership. Thanks for your willingness to continue to work on this. And I think we're going to do great things here. It's not going to be easy. I know that there are some folks in the media who I think are rooting against this proposal, but I think that we have an opportunity to do something really historic. So we're going to keep working at it.
No, the proposal that was given to Hamas was the best proposal that it possibly could ever get. I mean, honestly, that proposal there was no getting better. So I do believe, and so does the Arabic world. They all signed off on it before Hamas did. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard for a lot of us to sit here and criticize when even the Arabic world they all signed off on it.
With all of our friends in the Israeli government. So thank you so much for having
us. Not just Hamas.
Yeah, Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Vice President, you mentioned the media. And a lot in the media say in recent days that Israel is becoming some kind of vassal state or protectorate of the United States, not only advising it what to do, but also commanding what to do. Why do you both comment on that? And also another comment on, will you allow Prime Minister Turkish security personnel to get inside Gaza?
Well, I want to put it very clearly. You know, 1 week they say that Israel controls the United States. A week later they say the United States controls Israel. This is hogwash. We have a partnership, an alliance of partners who share common values, common goals. We can have discussions, we can have disagreements here and there, but on the whole, I have to say that in the past year we've had agreement, not only on goals, but how to reach them. And I think we're pursuing them successfully. We've been able to do two things. Put the knife at Hamas's throat. That was the military effort guided by Israel. And the other effort was to isolate Hamas in the Arab and Muslim world, which I think the president did brilliantly with his team. So those two things produced the hostages. Nobody believed we'd get them out. It was done by a cooperative effort. On the Turks, on the question of the Turks. I think, let me quote the vice president from yesterday. He said that I have very strong opinions on that. And he also said, we have to do it with, Israel will be obviously decide together on who does that. So I have very strong opinions about that. You want to guess what they are? Yeah, you know them. Okay.
I want to, guys, for a second. I want to address that. So, look, we don't want in Israel, we don't want a vassal state, and that's not what Israel is. We don't want a client state, and that's not what Israel is. We want a partnership. We want an ally here. And the president believes very strongly that if Israel honestly, with our Gulf Arab allies, can play a very positive leadership role in this region, to where, frankly, the United States can care less about the Middle East because our allies in the region are stepping up.
Real quick, make sure you guys hit that like button. I very much appreciate you guys for your laborious work on hitting that like button. It definitely helps us grow, and it's the #1 metric of all of YouTube, so I very much appreciate it.
And taking control and taking ownership of their area of the world. Now, that doesn't mean we don't have interest here. That doesn't mean we don't care about what happens here. But we actually see this as an opportunity to build on the Abraham Accords. I think this Gaza deal is a critical piece of unlocking the Abraham Accords. But
well, yeah, of course. The Abraham Accords were never going to be a thing again until Israel and Hamas stop fighting.
Allow is an alliance structure in the Middle East that perseveres, that endures, and that allows the good people in this region of the world to step up and take ownership of their own backyard. That's in the United States' best interest. I happen to think that it's in Israel's best interest too.
Excuse me, we're not taking any more questions from the foreign press. One more, and that's it.
What's up, Joseph? Our favorite snow Mexican up there, up in Canada. Always appreciate him. Saying good morning, Mikey, Lucy, Breakfast Crew, Bob, and can't forget the hater. Stop the cat. Yes, sir.
Stop the cat.
Shit.
Press the beat, please.
President Vance, you say that the ceasefire isn't on the verge of collapse, but why is it that the president said Jared Kushner, Steve Witkoff, now yourself, and then Secretary of State Marco Rubio to Israel this week, if that's not the case? And if I could, you said that there were joint agreements between the two of you today. Could you please explain what those were?
Well, to answer your question, look, this thing takes monitoring, and it's going to take a lot of work. I was in the CMCC, which we opened up yesterday. A lot of our Israeli friends working together with a lot of Americans to actually mediate this entire ceasefire process, to get some of the critical infrastructure off the ground, from the International Security Force to some of the reconstruction in Gaza. It's not easy. I never said it was easy, but what I am is optimistic that the ceasefire is going to hold and that we can actually build a better future.
What's up, Bob? My man. Good to see you, by the way. Good timing, because Joseph just said good morning to you as well. So perfect timing you guys showed up.
To the entire Middle East. But that requires some work. So it's not about monitoring in the sense of, you monitor a toddler. It's about monitoring in the sense that there's a lot of work, a lot of good people who are doing that work, and it's important for the principals in the administration to keep on ensuring that our people are doing what we need them to do.
Mr. Vice President, how do you Prime Minister, do you want to answer, please?
Countries not willing to send troops to Gaza, afraid of Hamas?
Oh my God, they're just screaming over each other. Look, Vance is just cracking up. He's just like, what the fuck?
The first thing I'd say is, relative to the previous question, is that when it comes to Israel's security, we do what we have to do. That's always the case. That's not a question. But America has an interest in a strong Israel, as you just heard from the Vice President. And Israel has an interest in a strong America. America has other interests in this region. Where we can be flexible to accommodate that, that's good, because a strong America is in our interest. And equally, as you just heard the Vice President say again, a strong Israel serves America's interest in stabilizing this very unstable region. And you can't stabilize it without a strong Israel. So we make the decisions for the security of Israel, but we make common decisions for the region, which I think can serve us both. And that's what we discussed today.
Well, that was actually a really good political answer, the way that he just answered that. I agree with what he just said, actually.
This idea of the day after. Remember, everybody said you don't have a day after, you don't have a day after. We're just creating an unbelievable day after with a completely new vision of how...
Now, this doesn't mean, financing. It's called just being able to influence the region. I'm not talking about money.
You have the civil government, and have the security there. Who could provide that security there? Again, with Israel taking care of overall security always. And we discussed that. And I think we have some very, very good ideas how to proceed. It's not going to be easy. but I think it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, we're really creating a peace plan and an infrastructure here where nothing existed even a week and a day ago. That's going to require a lot of work. It requires a lot of ingenuity. But again, I just, having seen what's already been built in just the past 7 days, I think that we're on an incredible pathway here to do something that has never been done. And I think, you've heard Steve Witkoff say this, you've heard the president, I believe, say this, that if we do this the right way, it could create a model, I think, that could lead to other peace agreements all over the world, because it shows what's possible when you're willing to think outside the box and actually put some elbow grease to get it done.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Okay, that's what they're wrapping up right there. That was a very interesting segment there. Let me make sure that we are pretty much all caught up here. Oh, we do have one last thing here. We'll go ahead and play this very beginning part here for you guys. Sonia Massey trial, deputy accused of killing. Let's go ahead and figure out what is happening here.
Welcome back into Live Now from Fox as we are taking a live look here over in Springfield, Illinois. That is where we're going for this
Springfield, Illinois.
Story and previewing something happening later on today. So 15 months after Sonia Massey was killed in her home, the former police officer who fired the fatal shot is set to go on trial. That former police officer, Sean Grayson, 31 years old, a former deputy of the Sangamon County Sheriff's Department in Central Illinois, has pleaded not guilty to 3 counts of first-degree murder. Now, the trial is scheduled to begin today with opening statements. If convicted of murder, Grayson faces a sentence of 45 years to life in prison. Now, it was back on July 6 of 2024 that Massey had called emergency responders over a suspected prowler, where Grayson and another deputy responded, and they entered into her Springfield home to report finding no one. Grayson had noticed a pan of hot water on the stove and ordered it removed. Now, according to body cam footage that is sure to play a key role in the trial, Grayson and Massey joked about how the deputy backed away as she moved the pan before Massey said, quote,
"Oh yeah, I remember this case. I remember this."
Jesus. Grayson later told Sheriff.
So this was 7/6/2024.
Investigators, he thought Massey's statement meant she intended to kill him, yelled at her to drop the pot, and the subsequent commotion fired 3 shots, striking her just below the eye. Joining us now to discuss this entire case and also what we can expect as it heads to trial is Adante Pointer. He is a civil rights attorney with Lawyers for the People, LLC, in Oakland, California. Adante, thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me.
So this case really, it gathered and garnered national and international attention over the last several years. We are waiting for it to officially get underway. Let's talk about opening statements, though, and bring up what prosecutors are expected to mention today during that court appearance.
Sure. Prosecutors are searching to discuss what the officers were actually there investigating, which was a prowler, and the fact that Massey herself had actually called 911 looking for help. I'm sure they're also going to mention the size disparity between the defendant. And as you can see on the video, it's not even close. He's a much taller, towering, young, virile, and muscular guy who's armed with a gun as well as police training. And
yeah, I want to know. I can't really remember the case of how it unfolded there. I think she only had a pot of water or something like that. Or it was like a boiling hot water she had, and then she was like threatening to like throw it on him or something like that. It was something of the sort. And so she didn't have like a knife or a firearm, but she was like something to the effect of that's what I had heard anyway. So I can't really remember. I do remember seeing what happened, but I can't remember. It's been a minute.
Accompanied by a partner versus Massey, who was a young lady, slightly built, who was in her own home, once again, asking for help and having a really basic conversation with officers until things went all the way left. So you can expect the prosecution to talk about how the officers did not follow their training, how they violated their policies of the department, and ultimately violated the law by shooting and killing her in her own home. So you can expect the prosecutors to focus on that, those critical moments, which the video shows, where deadly force was used against her and she died shot in the face 3 times.
Damn, and got shot in the face 3 times. Damn. Well, that is brutal. That is, I'm not gonna sit here and cap. That is brutal. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough for making these very shows happen. I'm very honored to be able to do what I do each and every single day. Thank you guys for being allowing me to be able to do this, and as well as engage in the audience, as well as hitting the like button, like all of that, man. It all is a work. There's many moving parts to this shit, and I'm very appreciative of all of it, man. I'm blessed to be able to do it. All right, so we will be back tomorrow morning for more of the World's Madness as we continue down our, truth-seeking adventure here. There's no one live really right now, so we're gonna send you guys over to. We're gonna be doing the Diamond Effect tonight, so I'm gonna send you guys over to that video. That's at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. So I'm going to send you guys over there. Hit the like button for me. Leave a comment. Say, hey, whatever. So it'd be awesome if you guys could do that for me. Thank you guys for your donations, your contributions, all of that, man. So we'll see you guys tomorrow morning with more of the World's Madness. Until then, God bless everyone. Much love, honor, respect, everyone. Be safe out there.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges.